the next stage to this job is to fit the drawers in the drawer unit. So this is the drawer unit, and there's going to be 3 drawers in this unit. It's only going to be 300mm deep because of the space I've got. I'm going to make the drawer front 250 high, so it's going to be 750 in total. And I probably do the drawers themselves at about 210 because you want a bit of clearance, you don't want them too tight to each other, so I like to have a bit of a clearance at about 40 or 30mm. So first thing I do is I measure my opening. So I got 564, and then I need to minus 25mm because the drawer runners are 12.5mm thick, so you need 25mm overall, 12.5mm either side. I'm just going to show you my drawer runners now and explain a bit how and why I use them. So these are the drawer runners I use. These are not actually the ones for our unit because I haven't got the right size. I'm hoping for a delivery today, and I'm going to be using black ones. These are just the silver ones, but you can get them in black as well, which I quite like the look of, so I'm going to have them ones on this unit. These are full extended ball bearing runners. They're quite cheap. I think at about, depending on obviously the length of them, but the highest price for 700mm ones are about £10. And they go right down to about £4 a set, which I think is really reasonable. There are a lot of downsides using these to, say, for instance, the Blum undermounted ones. With these ones, there's not so much play on them in regards to, there's not much adjustment, sorry. You can't adjust them as easy as you can with the Blum ones. These ones are not soft close. You can get versions of this in a soft close. I'm not a fan of them. I find the soft close mechanism a bit too stiff. So especially on a small drawer, it's quite restrictive. And if you've got a handle, there's a chance of pulling the handle too hard and stressing it and pulling thread out, which has happened in the past. So I try to stay away from the soft close ones. I think on these little units, you don't really need soft close and get a nice smooth running anyway, so they won't be banging shut anyway. Like I said, the main reason I use them is they're cheap, they're easy to install, and they're fully extended, and they take a lot of weight. I think these ones take up to about 45 kilograms in weight, which is, is incredible really for such a small runner. So like I said, you've got to take away 25mm overall width of the drawer. So I'll take some few measurements now, and I will start cutting up the drawers. So back to the whiteboard here is my again my awesome drawing. That's my drawer unit. That's the overall height of the drawer unit, so the outside measurements. That is the internal measurements, and then that is also the internal measurement as well. So 310, 564 by 750. And what I need to do now is work out what I need to cut my parts for my drawers. So it'd be 564 minus 25mm, so that's for the runners, and then minus 36mm, that's for the sides of the drawers themselves, because the drawers themselves are 18mm thick, 218 to 36. So minus that will give you 503, and I want to cut my height of my drawers to 210, and then the sides are going to be 300mm, so it's got a 10mm clearance in the back by 210 as well. So I can cut all them parts up now on the table saw, and then I can start showing you how I assemble them, and obviously do the bottoms as well. I use 18mm for the drawers, and I use 6mm for the bottoms, and I put a groove in the bottom to take a bottom panel. So hoping all that makes sense at the moment, but as I go further on, hopefully you will get what I mean. Making the drawers is a good opportunity to get rid of all the offcuts and materials, or all the small parts that would normally I just chuck in the skip. I can use for the drawers because they're only 210 in height. I can use a lot of them, especially on these small units. So I tried to keep some of the scraps around just so I can use them for drawers at a later date. That's the front and backs and the sides all cut now for the drawers. I've rounded all the edges off too, just to make it a bit better, easier on the hands. The next thing to do now is to cut the rebate in the bottom for the bottom panel to go in the 6mm bottom panel. So I do that on the table saw. So I'm setting the blade height to 9mm at the base, because that's half the thickness of the 80mm material, so that'll give it be nice and strong. And then I come in the fence 10mm from the bottom. And that's my first cut, so I'm going to run all my pieces through now like that. That's the first pass done, 10mm from the end. Now I'm going to move the fence over 3mm to do it again. I normally have to do it 3 times because the blade is a 2.7mm kerf, so it's not quite 3mm, and you want a bit of wiggle room anyway. So I normally do it 3 times, but because I'm setting the fence up and running them all through the same time, it's quite a quick process anyway. So that's a groove done on the bottoms of the drawers. So this is the layout that the drawer is going to look like. These are the side panels, and these go the full length, and the front and back sit inside. So it's like a butt joint, and I just got to connect the fronts to the sides. And I'm wondering how I'm going to do that. Yes, you got it. Pocket screws. There's all the pocket holes done. So just going to put the screws in now. And what I do is I build up 3 sides of the drawer to take the measurements for the bottom panel. So this is a 6mm bottom panel I'm going to be using. So I build up the 3 drawers, 3 sides of each drawer, and then I can take the measurements and then cut the bottom panel, slide the bottom panel in, and then put the last piece on, and that's the drawer complete. So there's the 3 sides assembled on the 3 drawers. Now I take the inside measurement and I add 14mm, so the bottom goes in 7mm either side into the 9mm groove, so there's a bit of wiggle room. And then again I take a measurement from there to the top of there, and then I add 40mm again, and that will give me the bottom dimensions. I can slide the bottom in and then put on the other side, and then pocket screw it together. And there you have it, 3 drawers. There's the fronts, obviously the fronts to go on and the drawer runners to do, but like I said, I haven't got them at the moment, but I have got them coming tomorrow, and I have got the rest of the materials to make the doors, because I'm going to make these doors slightly different. I'm going to try a different version of the shaker style door method. I know a lot of people use it, very successful, so I'm going to try that out as well, so I'm going to share that with you too. But that's it, that's how I make my drawers. Again, same as the shaker style door method. I've done hundreds of these and I've never had any fail. It's surprising how strong they are, and like I said, Craig screws are amazing. And that's it from the inside. Just a really simple box, really simple to make. And like I said, if you've got a lot of them to make, you can just batch them out because it's all the same process. So you keep the table saw set to the same dimensions, and you can just run them all through the same. Like I said, Craig Foreman definitely speeds up the process. And like I said, once the runners are on, these will be full extended out and a nice free draw unit. Good morning. I'm back down the workshop this morning. I'm just waiting for my delivery so I can finish off the draw fronts and the doors. And also I've had my ironmongery direct order. That's going to be the draw runners, it's the hinges, and also it's the knobs for the handles. And so I just wanted to show you what I normally order per job. This is what I've ordered for this job. So there's 2 sets of hinges. So 4, I'm going to be putting 3 on the door, so you've got to basically come in sets of 2. I've also ordered the knobs as well. We couldn't decide what knobs we went for, so we've ordered 2 pairs of everything, but we decided now we're going to go for that style. It's going to match our handles on our internal doors. And I've ordered the 300mm black draw runners as well, so I can fit them while I'm waiting for my other delivery to be done. So this is what I normally do, is I order per job, so all the hinges and the runners and the handles all in one job, so it's easier for me for referencing when I'm working out the price. And like I said, it just keeps it nice and tidy. I do bulk buy a lot of my items as well, like the feet that I put on. I bulk buy them because I never know how many I'm going to need, so I probably just order 10 sets at a time. And I also do it with the hinges as well. If I'm doing a job and it needs, say, 6 sets or 8 sets, then I always order 10, just so I got I accumulate quite a lot of hinges over the years as well. But I tried to keep it per job, and then I had this idea of Derek Barrett and also Alistair from Freebird Interiors do it as well. This is going to be my installation box, so everything that I need will go in this box. So all the hinges, the feet, the runners, the handles, the plans, all the little bits that I wouldn't normally keep on the van but I would need for a specific job will go in this box. And then obviously when the job is finished, it will be empty and I can just load it up for the next job, which I think is a really good idea and a way of keeping organised. So now I need to work out where the actual drawers go in the unit. So this is a 750 unit, so the draw fronts are going to be 250, and then as long as it's within the 250, so I mark from the bottom up to 250, then 500, and then the rest then will go up to 750. And as long as the runner is below their marks, then it doesn't really matter where it goes. I normally try and keep it tight down to the bottom, so it's a bit of a clearance on top. So my draws are 210 and the draw front is going to be 250, so I got 40mm to play with. So I normally keep it down as low as I can, so the clearance at the top, so if anything is in the drawers sticking out, you've got that 40mm clearance. So the first drawers runners are easiest to fit is they just sit on 5mm Parkers. So I just put them on the base, keep them flush with the front, and I can just screw them in, and then I can work out. Then I normally go 10mm above the 250 mark and screw them in, and again 10mm above the 500mm mark, and then I will show you now where I put them on the actual draw itself. So I just unloaded all my material and I put the kettle on to have a cup of coffee. So I just wanted to talk to you about how I'm going to do the doors different this time. So in my last video is how I normally do them, and I've been doing it for the past 3 years. I've never had a problem, but I'm going to try it different this way. And a friend of mine on Instagram, Derek Barrett, go and follow him if you're on Instagram. He's a fantastic cabinet maker, and he does fitted wardrobes and TV units and everything. He's a very clever guy, and this is his method. Loads of people use it, but he's the one who convinced me to try it. I was a bit reluctant to try it. I have heard bad results about it, bad stories about it, sorry. So, but he's incredible. And another guy called Matt from Soper Woodworking, he uses this method as well, and he gets really good results. It's a lot quicker method. You can save so much material, so it's less material than my way. So if you've got a small unit like this, it's probably worth doing it this way. And I'm going to try it because I hope I'm one of them people that will not knock it until I try it. And I've never tried this way, so I'm going to give it a go. So bear with me with it. I've never done it before, so as I'm filming it on the phone is actually me doing it for the very first time. So the main reason for trying this method on this job is because of the draw fronts. So because I want a shaker style draw front, and it's only 250. It's going to be slightly under that by the time you cut your margins, but say it's just 250 for now by 600. If I want to put, so these are your styles and then the rails. For me to put the styles and rails in 80mm, because that's what I would do, is 80mm, is that panel will be very difficult to cut out. That section with the punch saw in my method, quite difficult, and I don't think I'm going to get a good finish. So this is why I'm trying the plant-on method. So that plant-on method is you use 12mm for your back. So you cut the 12mm to the size of the draw front that you want, and then you cut rips of 80mm in either 9mm or 6mm. If you go 6mm, it will build it up to 18mm. If you go 9mm, which make it a little bit thicker, so you get a 9mm reveal on the shaker style, you will have a 21mm door, and that's the reason. That's the way I'm going to do it, so I can have a 21mm door. Then you just plant them pieces on and stick them pieces on to create the shaker style door. Plus you get the grooves that you don't get on my method. I could add them in, but it's just a bit hassle. And to be fair, I prefer to not have them marks in any way, them lines. But that's the way, one of the reasons why I'm doing it this way. And also, like I said, I wanted to try it this way because a lot of people have had real good results in it. So I just want to try it out. I've never tried it, and I'm not going to knock it until I try it. And I wouldn't try it on a customer's house, just in case it goes wrong. And then I'd have to go back and replace it, and it's going to cost me money. I'm going to try it on my own house. If it fails within 6 months, then I can just change it and go back to my old method. All the door parts cut. So I got my 3 drawers in 12mm, my door in 12mm, and then these are 80mm rips of 9mm, which are going to be planted on to create the shaker style door. So what I need to do now is I'm going to sand all the inside edges and round all them over. Just take the edge off, and then I can start laying out and cutting them to length. Also, I am missing the edging tape, and I think this is what the secret is to put an edging tape to hide the seam. So once that is planted on, you will see that. But I have got MDF tape coming that will cover that edge, and then it's a paintable surface. And then I also will round over the edges once the tape is on. So that is supposed to be coming today to my house. So I'm going to make the doors up, and then I will put the tape on at the house, and I will show you how I'm going to be putting it on. Like I said, I've never done it before, so I'm going to be trying that out as well. Like I said, hopefully this method works, and I will now round off the edges and sand all the parts, and I can start sticking everything down. So the way Derek Barrett does it is he actually uses mitre bond, or this is mitre fast, to stick the 9mm to the 12mm backing board. He says the reason why he does that is if you use glue, normal PVA glue, there's moisture in the glue that can get the door to warp, or to create the door to warp. So by using the mitre bond or mitre fast, it doesn't happen. That process doesn't happen. So there's no warping because there's no moisture in the glue. So I'm going to try that method. I know it sounds mad by creating a door by using this stuff, which is great, but not really meant for this stuff, for doing this purpose. But I'm going to give it a go and see how it goes. So that's all the styles glued on. Now I'm just going to take some measurements to do all the rails. It's definitely quick that anyway. Well, that was a very fast method, I must admit. Really quick. Done that in no time. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to trim all the drawers and doors. I've left them oversized by 3mm. So I'm going to take 1.5mm off either side of them just to trim them all up. They're all pretty good, to be honest, but just to give them a nice clean edge. And then that is it from down the workshop. I can do everything else at home. Painting's going to be done at home. The edge taping is going to be done at home. I can do a bit of sanding as well, what needs to. But that is it, really. I'm going to another half hour down here now and get everything ready and to go up to the house to start fitting. That's the van all loaded up. Next stop, my house to start installing. Hi guys, I'm back at home now, and as you can see, the unit is fitted. I've also scribed in all the trim, all the finished trim. It has got to be painted. It's going to pop off as well. My idea is I'm going to be able to paint it all down the workshop and then just come and fit. But because I'm painting at home, I thought, well, I might as well scribe it all in now, and then I can paint it after and I can pop them all off. From the still pictures before I'm doing this video, it was really difficult to try and film it while fitting it because the space is so small. You was just seeing my back a lot, so I haven't put them in. I am going to walk through of how I fitted it all in now. But from the pictures, you can see I put the base unit in first, leveled it all up, make sure it was okay. And then I pulled it out and I screwed the top on and just slid it into place. And I would just talk a bit now how I done the fillers. Sorry, before I talk about the fillers, I just wanted to let you know I did make a mistake. So even though I took really accurate measurements and I drew it to scale on the computer, I still actually made a mistake. So it does happen. And what I did is the height I wanted, because I wanted a 120 base, there. And because I've got that 3x3 post running in through the top, I built the unit too tight because I'm supposed to have an 18mm gap between the 3x2 and the top of the carcass. By me jacking that up, I didn't have that. It was basically tight to the underside of the 3x3 post. But I got out of it, and what I did, instead of running the 18mm piece like this, and I explain how I done it. So that piece is supposed to be in there, in there like that, but I couldn't do that. So I had to just put a piece of 18mm that way and plane it down, because from the edge of the carcass to the backing piece is 6mm, because the reason why it's 6mm past is my door is 21mm, and I like to have a 3mm to play with, so the hinge side we'll have 3 mil to clear the unit, and then the other side I will put a little sticky cushion so the door doesn't bang against the carcass. So I did make a mistake, but I got out of it, so that's no problem. That screw there is where I screwed up into the 3x3 post to fix it. So how I do, and again, this is not my idea, this is Derek Barrett's idea from Instagram. He's a very clever guy. He told me about this method. Let me just take this piece off. So as you can see, that is an 80mm strip, and it's actually 80mm in width as well, running all the way down to the back of the carcass, and it's got a groove in it, and that is done with a biscuit cutter, and it's a groove going all the way up, and you run it along with the biscuit cutter. And then what you can do, let me just try and flip the camera around. Right. Sorry about the quality of the video, guys. It's so difficult. It's such a small space. It's quite hard to get everything in. But so this is my front trim, and you put biscuits wherever, random places, all the way along the piece, and that's why you do a groove, so it doesn't matter where the biscuits are. And then, like I said, I set that 6mm from the carcass out, and then when this piece goes on, I'll try and do this one-handed while still filming. This is a lot harder than it looks trying to film. And there you go, and then that just pops on, and once this is painted, this piece, so I'm going to paint this piece first, finish it all, and then that piece, and I would just put some glue in the biscuits, and then I would just tap on like so. Like I said, it's a real good tight fit. You could do that with dominoes as well if you want, but biscuits are a lot cheaper, and I don't have a domino machine, and that gives that effect. So once the door, if you imagine this is the door then will finish just under. I like to keep it a little bit under like that, so you've got loads of room for the door to open and close. So that's how I've done this one. Again, it's a new method to me, but I like it already. It's a way of fixing your fillers without actually having nails, or anything going through the face. So that's how I do it. And like I said, on this piece then, that up top is not biscuited because I couldn't do it in the end, but that is just going to have to be glued on. That side is the same, that's just all pushed in, and even the bottom piece, you just go down. The bottom piece is exactly the same, that's just friction fit, and then that's going to be all glued in as well. So I hope that all makes sense. It was really difficult to film it all in store, but it's basically I screwed up into the bottom, from the bottom to the top carcass, because them screws never be seen in the drawers. So now the next stage is for me to, I could put the drawers in, and it's just to paint everything and just put everything in place. So hopefully I can get some footage of that, but if not, I would do some still shots instead. Right, I'm just about to cut the holes for the hinges. These are the 35mm hinges that I use and get them from Ironmongery Direct. To cut the holes, I use the Craig hinge cutter. They're about £35. You can get them from eBay and Amazon, practically anywhere. So I'll show you how I do them now. So how I work out where to place the hinges, I come 100mm down off the door, the top, and 100mm off the bottom. And then I just half it, whatever it is. I'm going to put 3 hinges on this. It's a 1470 door, so I don't need more than 3 hinges, that'll be fine. But what's really good about the Craig hinge jig is it is actually 100mm by buttoning it up, so they've actually thought about that. So you just clamp it to your door. And as well, as you can see here, it's got numbers 3 to 6, and that's how far you want the hinge going in or out from the edge of the door. 5mm is standard for any concealed hinge like this, so I stick to the 5mm. And then this is the bit, put it onto a drill. And then that just clips in and drill. It's as easy as that. I've got my desk extractor here, so I can get rid of the waste material. have it. I'm just ready to put the draw fronts on. Obviously they're not painted yet. It's because the edge tape haven't come. It's not coming till tomorrow now, so it's Thursday today. She's not coming till Friday, which is a bit disappointed. So I'm just going to get everything fit in. I'm going to paint all the fillers, put 1 coat of primer on all the doors and the draw fronts, and then the edge tape can be applied. I can round off all the edges and then carry on painting. So how I fit the drawers is I like to have a 3mm gap all the way around the edge of all the drawers. And once the edge tape is applied, it's 0.4mm, so it's just going to be slightly under 3mm, which will be a nice even gap, a nice looking gap too. So I put the first drawer in place, the bottom one. I've got the white packers, which are 3mm on the bottom, and the white packers on the side. And then that's all I do is I get some clamps, clamp it up. Like so. I got a countersink bit, and I just screw through the backs. And then I'm using 30mm screws. Pull them in. I'm actually going to take this straw out, give myself a bit more room. Do the other side. I put one in the middle as well. I will be taking these drawer fronts off to paint the backs of them. So I just want to make sure everything lines up. Packers off the side, take the clamps off, and then you have it, working drawer. And then I will do the same as the other one, because it is a bit tight getting in. And then the top one, I use double side sticky tape to stick the drawer front on, slowly pull it open, clamp it, and then screw through the back like before. So with the top drawer, I use this Gorilla tape, this double-sided sticky tape. Is really strong, so just cut some strips. Now I will stick to the actual drawer, and then I can open it up, clamp it, and then I can screw it from behind. Before I put some paint on the door and drawer fronts, I'm just going to give everything a quick sand now. I'm using 180 sandpaper. I got a cordless random orbital sander attached to a cordless dust extractor. So I'm just going to give everything a light sanding, and I can get my first coat of primer on then. Well, it's finally came, the edge tape I've been waiting for. I've never used this stuff before, but I wanted to try it on these doors, especially because I'm doing the plant-on method, and it's to hide the joint between the 12mm and the 9mm MDF. I have started doing it. I want to do a test run before I put it on camera, and it seems really good so far. So it is a paintable edge tape, so it's not like your more PVC finish. It does seem different. It's obviously more of a matte finish. and that's probably so it takes paint better. So how I'm doing it, I got my door upright and I got my beezy clamps just clamped to it so it doesn't move. So firstly, get scissors. I'm roughly measuring the length of it. Cut it roughly to length. The only thing I did do, which is a bit of a mistake, is because these are 21mm doors, this is 22mm, so I haven't got much room for error, so it's got to be really careful how I plant it on. I do quite a lot of edge banding anyway in kitchens and stuff, so I'm quite used to it. And I found the best results is to get a small travel iron. So with a big iron, it's more chance of it tipping over and it's a bit uneven. So a smaller iron works better. So I lay it on you best I can. Overshoot this slightly. Get it lined up and just dab it so it sticks right on the edge so it doesn't move. And then just slowly work your way over it, just lining it up as you go. As you can see, my left hand is just guiding it through. If you can hear that, it's good rain. I had to put a gazebo up today to finish this job off, but I'm determined to finish it today. I've sanded all the edges to 180 grit, so they're nice and smooth anyway, so the tape can apply easily. Then what I do then is I bevel the iron on all the edges. That's the first step done. You can get tools that will trim these edges really flush, and I probably will get them if I carry on doing this method, but at the moment I just got a knife. Try and do it as best I can. It is quite awkward. Now that's done. Get my router with a 2mm bit in it, and I just run the edges over. Well guys, here you have it. We finished the article. Just finished putting everything together now. The painting took longer than I expected, but painting always does. I quite enjoy painting, but I hate the process of how long you got to take to let stuff dry, and then the space you need for the paint to dry. And obviously you can only do one side at a time, so you gotta wait for it to dry and then flip it over and then denib it and redo that. So it is quite a long process. The actual build itself probably only took, with fitting, probably about 2 days, no more than 2 days. But with everything else going on with the painting and stuff, that's what took longer. But I'm still happy how it's turned out. Like I said, the drawers are working great. Fully extended ball bearing runners. I think I definitely use the black ones again instead of silver. I think it looks nicer on the bare MDF. The method of me putting the trim on was great. Well, I put biscuits glued biscuits into the front piece, and then done a groove all the way up, and then just glued them in place, because means I could finish all the pieces, painting, and then I could just pop them all in. So that's turned out nice too. And then inside, top cupboard, fully adjustable shelves, so you can move them up and down. We can even take some out, or I could even add some if need be. Like I said, I'm going to leave it bare MDF. I am going to wipe all the dust off with a damp rag before we put stuff in it, but I think that is perfectly fine. The main thing is what you see is what's on the outside. All self-closing hinges, all soft close. I will put some cushions on as well, so it's not actually touching the carcass. But I'm really happy how it's planned out. I think I'm definitely going to try this method again in painting all the front, and then just come in and popping it all in. And I like the fact that it's bare inside, so the customer can save a bit of money by doing it that way. So it's definitely an option I'm going to offer. And this plant-on method too, I would definitely try it again. It's worked great. If in 6 months the door starts bowing, then I might have to think, well, I'm not going to really do it. On big wardrobe doors, I'm still going to do my method. I do still think it's a better method. But for small stuff like this, I think it's perfectly fine. And plus then you get the joins what people like, because it looks like a proper cope and stick 5-piece method. Right, now I want to talk about this edging tape I use. It's the first time I ever used this. This edging tape is a paintable edging tape that is for MDF. And I must admit, it's absolutely fantastic. It is paintable, and that texture you can see now is actually the paint, not the edging. I probably wouldn't, if I'm doing a white door again, I probably wouldn't paint the edging. I don't think it's necessary. It's exactly the same colour. So one thing I did find is, because it's such a smooth finish on the edging, is when I was trying to use a roller on it, it was pushing the paint rather than sticking to it so much. But after a few coats, it did get a bit easier. The paint I used was a Leyland hard-wearing acrylic eggshell. It's not as good as the Little Green, because the Little Green is 3 times the price. It is a bit more of a texture to it, and I didn't go through the grits of the sandpaper what I normally do, just because I didn't have, I only went to 180 grit on this, just because I didn't have no other sandpaper, and I thought, oh, do you know what, that would be fine. So maybe I could have got it a little bit smoother on the finish, but it still looks good. And like I said, well, you can see yourself, it's turned out really nice. The gaps are all nice. The only thing about these drawers, when you is when you put in the front on, it's very little adjustment after. With the Blum ones, you can move them side to side, so I think that gap is tighter than this side. With the Blum ones, I could have moved it over slightly to even it out a little bit better, but I'm happy with it. You know, there's always some adjustments needed, and nothing's perfect, but I'm happy how it's turned out. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and hopefully there'll be more to come. I don't really know what I'm going to do next, just because I'm running out of jobs in the house to do, so I'm still on lockdown. But if there's any questions, please give me a comment, and if you like it, like and subscribe to the channel, please. Cheers.